Good, whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, coming to you from the 469. We are here recording at the Blue Water in Port Sand Lake. The Blue Water in Port Sand Lake.
The Blue
that
Water
sounds
in
redundant.
Or the Blue Water Sports Bar and Grill, or Blue Water in.
Yeah. In.
With two N's.
Why does in have to have two N's when it's like a hotel?
I don't know. Be the ball, Danny. Be the ball, Danny.
So yeah, it's Adam and Phil here with you, as always. Good evening, everybody.
Hello. What's wrong with lumberyards, Danny? I own 3 of them. Notice you don't spend a lot of time there. Not quite sure where they are.
Oh, Chevy Chase is great in that movie.
Right.
Bill Murray's performance, though, is just phenomenal.
Just both legendary. Caddyshack is always worth your time. I saw Dan Aykroyd celebrated a birthday, 70. Dan Aykroyd, 70 years old.
That's just crazy. I'm actually anxious for that new Ghostbusters movie to come out.
Yeah, I haven't seen much about it. It's going to be better than that turd they released last time, I hope, with the reboot with all the ladies.
So have you seen the one that came out after that?
No, I heard it was good, though.
Oh, it was phenomenal. I mean, really, really good. And they did such a great job at paying homage to Harold Ramis and
Cool.
bringing back the other 3 guys. It was very well done. So I'm very, very hopeful for this next one. You should really watch that one.
I should. I will.
I mean, it's a really, really good one. So
I'm going to have to check that out. I'm sure some streaming service is carrying it at this point.
oh yeah, they all are. They all are. You can probably even watch it free some places, but yeah. So I'm anxious for that. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. Word to your mother.
Word to your ghost.
Yeah. So that's good that they paid the respects. Yeah, Harold Ramis passed away, unfortunately. He was one of the masterminds behind Caddyshack, actually. So,
well, they were like in the process of getting all the screenplay done for that movie, and he was part of that. And one of the things he wanted was them to continue on with it if something happened to him, and he felt real strong about it being made, so they made sure to pay homage to him in it, and the way they did it is just phenomenal.
cool.
So
I'll check it out.
most certainly do. Most certainly do.
Because the reboot with the ladies, I watched about maybe 7 to 9 minutes of it.
Yeah,
And said, nope,
and
can't do
wish
this.
that you could get 15 minutes of it back.
Right, yeah. I wish I could have doubled down, gotten more time back than what I invested because it was such a waste.
They owed that to you after that.
I'm going to build a studio on that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing as you get older. I think about that. Like, I'll be going to leave work or something. I'll look at the clock and I'll be like, yeah, all right. I should probably hang out for another couple of minutes. And then I think to myself as I watch the seconds tick away, like, these are seconds I'll never have back in life again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here doing nothing, just wasting time.
The whole structure of how we work and what it's turned into is pretty ridiculous to me. Like, they're more concerned about getting your time out of you than they are about what you actually get done.
Being
like,
productive, yeah.
I've had that at several places I work because
I don't feel the pressure at the new job, but I don't also want it to become a bone of contention. So like I've been very diligent about it. Like if I show up, if I show up at 7:45, yeah, I'll leave it and take a half-hour lunch. I'll leave at 4:15. I don't feel bad about that. If I show up at 8, I stay until 4:30, take a half-hour lunch. I don't think they would, but I also don't want it to be a thing because really at Amatech, that was one of the things they mentioned over and over. It was like,
yeah,
you come in at 7:07, and leave at 3:30. Like, to me, it doesn't mean anything.
No,
7 minutes is so insignificant, and even 20 minutes.
I was even talking to somebody that works at Walmart, and they were saying that a lot of people will leave. That if they clock out after a certain time, it rounds to the next hour, and most people clock out right at that time, and they never get anything said to them at all.
Nice.
So that
Thank you.
I mean, but there's become a spot.
We couldn't guess the password, by the way.
We teabagged the shit out of that though.
Yeah.
So, but it becomes a point where there's more.
Don't put it up to your ear.
No, not a listening device. But they just want to make sure that they get your time out of you, regardless of what you get done, you know. And I know you've worked at places too where you see people that they don't really do anything the whole day, but they're rewarded because they're, you know, oh hey, they showed
They're
up every day for
on time every day.
they showed up every day and they were on time for a full year. Let's give them a party, but they didn't, you know. What did they accomplish? Well, they were here every day and they were on time.
Man, they didn't do shit.
You know, that was one thing when I had my company. I made everybody kind of a modified salary. Like you were going to make. There were a couple of guys that were hourly because they were very, very hit or miss. You know, not by just by their job description, but
right.
You know, the people who were full time, they were salary, and if we went way over on a week because we had a bunch of stuff to do, they get bonuses because time is the one thing you won't get back.
Or bonuses. I have no bonuses would be great, or just comp it. Like I remember numerous times salary jobs. I'd be like, I'd work 2 or 3 hours over one day. Be like, can I leave? Like, you know, I'd work 3 hours over. Can I leave just like 2 hours early one day next week? Oh no, we can't do that. And I'm like,
yeah,
why not? You know,
so. It's kind of funny because when I worked at the hospital, I was hourly, and at first they were very strict about you can't get more than 40 hours. Right. So like if I was in the middle of doing something critical and I hit 40 hours, I was supposed to leave, drop what I'm doing and leave. And I did that because that's what I was told I was supposed to do. And then one day my boss is like, I've got you cleared for overtime if you run into stuff like, because there was a couple of times when I'd have to show up for an hour on Friday,
right,
and then I'm leaving, and when I got there, everything was a mess. So you know, he's like, I got you cleared for overtime, and there were some times when I'd have 60 hours in there, and after a while, I'm like, you know, I'm racking up all this overtime. I'd rather just have the time back, and it's like, oh well that's going to be real tough. We don't really want you leaving. You can have your time back, but don't take it on a Friday.
Right.
And I'm like, why? That's when I'm going to know how much time I have. Yeah. You know? Well, they're like, if you work 10 hours on Tuesday, take 2 hours, or take an hour Wednesday and take an hour Thursday. I'm like, no, because if I put 2 hours in Tuesday, if I take 2 extra hours out of a day, I'm going to take 2 hours back out of a day. I'm not going to spread it out.
Right. You know, it makes no sense. And sometimes, like you said, it's crazy. I know they're pretty relaxed at my new job about a lot of things, but I don't want to take advantage of it. But also, at the same time, if it were up to me, like especially in the summer, I'd rather work like 9-hour days on like say Tuesday and Wednesday and leave 2 hours early on Friday.
Yeah.
Like that'd be an optimum schedule for me, you know. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you probably have the freedom to go in a couple hours early and get out earlier too.
And I could, yeah, oh yeah, I could.
So I mean, at least there's that.
I could frame my schedule around it, anything I want. I told him initially. I told him I'd like to work 7:30 to 4. But getting there at 7:30 hasn't really worked out. But I can get there by between usually 7:45 and 8 o'clock. And I've only been after 8 o'clock maybe once, and it was by like a minute. And I would love that. I can't get out of bed right now. Well, I think it's winter time though too.
Well, it's got to be real tough after the time change and all that too.
Well, especially when we do things like we're doing tonight, where I won't make it to bed till midnight. It's like,
yeah.
Plus a couple barley pops on top of that, and it's like,
exactly.
Getting up in the morning it's not conducive. And that's where I ran into trouble. Which nothing against Amatec, I love them. I love everything about them. They treated me really well, but like it was tough because I had to be there by 7 a.m. or else, yeah.
Well, it was that way when I was at the hospital too. It didn't matter what time I got out the night before, because when I did a couple big projects there, I was there until 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I remember one day I showed up at like 7:20, and I had a shitload of extra time in. It's like a Wednesday, it was Thursday, and I already had like 36 hours in.
Right.
And this was once they had overtime cleared for me. So I show up at like 7:20. My boss is like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't come in late like that. I'm like, dude, I was here until 11. Where were you?
Right.
And he's like, oh, no, well, if you're going to take time off, it's got to be at the end of the day. I'm like, not when I'm here at 11.
Didn't I tell you they said the same shit to me down at Amatec? Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, it doesn't matter which half of the day it comes off of.
And he actually
they said, he's like, well, if you need to leave early, that's never a problem. But I'm like.
So he actually said to me, he goes, well, when you come in late, you know, your scheduled start time is 7. When you come in late, even if it's just a couple minutes, if you clock in late, the hell are you doing?
I like it. Whatever it is, I like it.
I was putting on wrestling for you.
Oh, we love wrestling.
It's all over with, isn't it?
Well, I just saw it on there. I thought you'd get hard.
Oh, they were probably just going over. I know everything that's happened.
You got to get hard.
But yeah, he said that if I came in even just a few minutes late, clocking in, he had to put a reason in. I'm like, well, you can put in the reason that I was here until 11. And then there were some nights when, you know, the emergency room would have an issue, or they'd have an issue in acute care where, you know, it's kind of important that all that stuff runs smooth. And I'd have to go over to the hospital at 3 a.m. And if I'm there for a couple hours, I'm not making it in by 7. Sorry. You know, and that was always a point of contention for me, is how that part worked. Because if it's that important, I should be able to put my own explanation in of why I'm there late, and he can either click yes or no that that's valid, and then we can go from there. But the fact that it was also his job to do that kind of stuff and he didn't want to always kind of bothered me.
Right.
So I just never been a fan of other people owning my time or believing they own my time, because nobody does.
Right. I feel the same. I don't feel it at my new job. I really don't. But I also, like I said, I've only been there for 7 weeks now. I don't want to get off on the wrong foot.
No, and I don't think you will. I think you're going to fit in really well there. Everybody that I know that works there says, you know, it's pretty great.
And I would love, and I see it, and you get to know the battle rhythm. You see what other people do and kind of how things operate, like people with their schedules and everything.
Yeah.
And I think eventually, like, there's nothing better than leaving early on a Friday, even if it's an hour. It's like the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to that, where I can leave if I'm there on a Friday. If I leave, you know, an hour or two early, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that is one of the perks. And I'm sure at that place, leaving on a Friday, if you've got your hours in on another day, is not going to be an issue.
No, I don't think it'll be either. And also working from home too. Like, I can work virtual. I don't plan to do it a lot, but
Right.
I wouldn't mind, you know, even then, like on a Wednesday, leave the office at 2:30 and work for a couple hours at home, you know?
Or even just a couple days a month, just stay home. Especially in the winter when it's, you know, hey, if it's at all shitty out.
I've just had so many terrible experiences. I have the PTSD from it, you know? I have everything else. Like I've gotten bitched at for the most mundane things that no one should even give a fuck about. Especially when my work's getting done and it's getting done well, and my performance was never in question. But getting bitched at for the little mundane stuff just wears at me, which is why I wanted to get out of the corporate structure to begin with.
Well, and that's what caused me to leave my last job. Was I was the only guy left doing the job that I did. There was a tremendous amount of pressure on me to get a whole bunch of stuff done. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm just not built to work 70 hours a week anymore. And I was told by a new manager that if I wasn't there, he called me on a Saturday afternoon, said, I need you here Monday morning. I'm like, I already have a full day of stuff I have to do Monday.
Right.
And was basically told, you be here or you could be written up or fired. I'm like, well, we don't even have a process for writing up, so I don't know what that means. So
right.
I'm going to take it as you would fire me. And he's like, well, you know, I just need you here Monday morning. So I let him sweat it. And then about 9:30 a.m., I sent through my resignation on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And he called me and was basically like, so I get you're not coming down? I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm done. I'm resigning.
Right. I'm out.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I actually told him both those things. I told him he's an asshole and
to go pleasure yourself.
Yeah. I invited him to go fornicate with himself.
I don't know why, and why managers, I just hate it. I get it with the rank and file. Sometimes you've got to, the rules are there for a reason or else. But when it comes to professionals, especially salaried, like, that used to be the reason why people would strive to have those positions and work hard to get what they needed to be in those positions, was because of those perks, When you're salaried, you're not punching a clock.
Right.
And I felt that way at Amatec, the punch clock, when they're watching me with my badge cans and stuff. That's the only, like I said, I want to go over, like, love the place. That was the only thing that stuck in my craw there. And I could live with that. I could have lived with that. I was doing pretty well with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I felt like it was an unnecessary hassle. Like, in my yearly review, that was the number one thing that was brought up, like.
Yeah. Well, and it was brought up to me one time, even though I'm putting in, like, when I was at the hospital, I'm putting in, a minimum of 45 hours a week clocked in time. Not like adding overtime or anything, but actual
Right.
45 hours a week minimum. A lot of times 52 or 58 was not unusual. And then when you sit down, sometimes you come in and you forget to punch in. It's like, dude, I forgot to punch in because the minute I walk in the door,
I'm getting bombarded.
I am just hammered by people with stuff. And because I used to have to, now that kind of stopped when I could walk in. When I first hired in there during COVID, we all had to come in one entrance, which makes a whole fuck of a lot of sense, right? Have everybody come in one spot.
That makes no sense. You
And
would want to
punch-
spread it around.
And punch in on the same computer.
Oh, boy.
And, genius move.
Brilliant.
Absolutely stupid. So I had a door to my office, like right outside my office, that I could come in, that only 2 other people used. And they finally let us do that. And then people didn't bombard me the minute I got in the door, but I had to walk through the whole damn place
Right.
to get to my office. And it's like, when I have to walk by 3 nurses' stations, the x-ray facility, the shipping and receiving part, I got to walk by the main desk out front. There's no way I make it through that gauntlet without getting stopped by somebody.
Right. Somebody's like, hey, this isn't printing out right. This isn't working right. Or
Exactly.
this isn't connecting. Or
And it's the most important thing on the planet. And so I got to walk in and do all, go through all that before I could punch in at my desk. Because I had a big problem with using the community machine.
Right.
The funny part is they were telling everybody that they had disabled being able to log in at your desk, and they didn't. They just told people that because nobody there knew how to do that.
Oh, my.
So when I first hired in, and they're like, yeah, it's disabled logging in at your desk. I'm like, no, it's not. Oh, well, don't tell anybody.
You're like, why are you lying to people?
No, it's not. The funny part was I used to, I used to log in from home when I'd have to do overtime and stuff from home. And they're like, my boss says to me one day, he goes, you had to come in last night? I'm like, no. Oh, well, it shows you punched in. Yep. Sure does. Sure does.
He's like, you were in the office? No. Yes.
I do miss working there because there was a lot of cool toys to play with.
I could see that.
There was a lot of great people that I worked with. My boss was not one of them. He was a total douchebag.
Just a dick.
But I think that's most bosses. I hope when I've been people's bosses that I have not.
Same. I've thought about this too. Same.
That I wasn't the douchebag.
I think I was a pretty cool boss, and I'll say the same thing. I always like. I like to fuck around just as much as the next guy. So if I catch you fucking around, as long as your work's getting done, I don't care.
That's always what my mantra was. I don't care. No, I mean, if you have 10 hours of work to do and I'm paying you for 40 and, you're fucking around on 30 of them, I might be like, hey, clean something. But
Right.
if you're getting 40 hours of work done in 30 hours and you fuck around for 10 hours, I
got no problem with that, right?
Nope. No. And really is the stuff getting done that we need to get done to stay productive.
Yeah.
And as long as those 2 boxes were checked, I was good. I played many a game of darts.
Yeah.
We used to have blowgun competitions at my office.
Yeah.
where we'd sit there and fire the blowgun. We bought a PlayStation 4 and Gran Turismo and a steering wheel and all the foot pedals and stuff and set up a whole racing simulator.
And just ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll, and we did that. I mean, we had good times all the way around.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's more than fair, yeah. And when I look at the structure, like when I worked at Emerson, a miserable place to work, but they were pretty cool with my schedule there too. Pretty relaxed about it. Nobody ever said anything to me about it. Walbro, they never said a word to me until they did the reorg and Bad Brad came to fruition with all the power, which, by the way, Brad Roach, fuck you. Anyway, so
Yeah.
just
Fuck
put
that guy.
Did we ever talk about that comment that one of my buddies left?
We didn't talk about it, but I saw it.
We got to talk about that comment. So one of the Facebook questions we put out there was if you could switch places with somebody for a day, who would it be and why? And one of my friends, and I love him for this, posted Brad Roach so I could see what it would be like to be that cocky and have such a small penis.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
I hope he sees that. I hope he sees that.
Hopefully it's a small world. Hopefully somebody will screenshot that and send it to him.
Just send it to him. Just send it. I can't say any disparaging remarks about the place as a whole contractually or any employees. But I guess, as I said before, Brad's no longer an employee, so he's open game, right?
Yeah. Loopholes.
Right? So hopefully that podcast made its way to him, and
That would be very appropriate.
And I'd like to see him someday again. So Bad Brad, look me up. Not hard to find.
And my last job, they just the pressure of being the only guy there. I mean, there are only two other technicians that work there still.
Right.
And when I hired in there were three of us that did my job. And when I left, there were no more after I was gone.
Wow.
But that pressure of just being the only guy that could do certain things in a company that serviced over 400 companies across the country and in Canada.
That's too much. That's overload.
I was working a few days a week. I was working 12 to 16 hours, but not getting any of that time back.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and I was
salaried. Yeah.
So, and I was on call 24/7 without any compensation for that, which is illegal, but that's how they did it.
That is highly illegal. Absolutely. Jesus Christ.
So,
Well, how dare they, for lack of a better term? Like, why have we reached this? And especially those managers. I'm never the type that. All right. So when it comes to deadlines, you can't cry wolf all the time. I know there's certain things that are very important and they have to have deadlines, but for the most part, the work's going to be there tomorrow.
yeah.
Like, nobody gives a shit if you. So the number one thing you have to do, and this is what I preach, you have to honor commitments, but when you commit to things, you also have to be realistic. If you give someone an idea, like if you say, all right, when can I have this? Don't say, oh, I'll have it for you in 3 hours when you know it's going to take 6 hours worth of work. Like, be realistic. Be like, I'll have it for you. Say it's a Monday. I'll have it for you by Wednesday. And that's realistic because other things come up,
Right.
And then honor that, though. But honor that because that's very important. That's how you build the trust. But so many times people are like, well, it'll look really good if we get this done early. You know what I've learned? Nobody gives a fuck. You get it done early, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
You might
will-
might get an attaboy or a good job.
Pizza party on a Friday.
Yeah. But if you turn it in a day before the honored commitment date, nobody cares.
No. And honestly, the same is true for a day late.
Yeah.
Because anybody who is at all intelligent, if you tell them it's going to be done on Thursday, they're not doing a damn thing with it till Monday.
Oh, 100%.
So, because nobody should be stupid enough to plan that there might not be a hiccup that keeps you from getting something done.
And the thing I've always said is, well, even when it's been late, you can usually get away with, especially with what I do. Well, we wanted to ensure that it was accurate and correct.
Yeah.
You know, like I could have given it to you, met the deadline, but I couldn't guarantee it was right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had I had to have a talk with my boss after my attitude on a conference call that we had where we were on with obviously we were very shorthanded.
Right.
And we were on with a client, and he did something that pissed me off so badly. He says, okay, Adam, you need to put this at the top of your list. I need you to take ownership of this and 911 it. Put it at the top of your list. I said, which other emergency today do you want me to bump off that list to put this one number one?
Right.
I said, because you've given me like 3 today that are supposed to be at the top of my list, and the top of my list only has 1 spot. So what do you want me to get rid of?
Right.
And afterwards, he's like, you can't do that to me on a call. I'm like, you can't do that to me on a call.
Right.
Like,
That's
what in the hell are
getting
you
called
thinking?
thrown under a bus. Absolutely.
I said, all you're doing is setting me up for failure, and I won't do that. So, yeah.
And that's the number one thing. And even as a manager, like I've told people, like a lot of times, and people are so used to this, they've been conditioned. When you go to them and ask the status of something, they'll start stammering or whatever. And I'm like, nope. I'm not asking you if it's done. I'm not, whatever, no pressure here. All I need to know is the story. I have to have a story to tell. Have you had other things that have gained precedence that you cannot work on it? It's nicer than that, but it's like, what do you have going on? Like, is there something else that's hotter? Yeah. What can I do to help? Do you need assistance? Are we looking good here? Is it something like, just don't blow smoke? And so many people will do that. Just give you excuse. And I'm like, I don't need excuses. I just need to know the story.
But like, that again is and I had people that I hired in at my company that were so gun shy of just being hammered all the time by somebody. Right. They're so gun shy about it that the minute that you ask them about something, hey, how's your day going? Well, I got a million things going on. I don't know how I'm going to get, dude, I just really wanted to know how your weekend was.
And there's a couple things too. Yeah. And that leads me to this, like, if you tell me I haven't had time to work on it, that's perfectly acceptable to me. If you're busy as shit, I totally get it. And I will say, hey, the resources, we just don't have them right now. They're busy with other things that have taken precedence over this.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly acceptable. And the other one is as you said, people that one of my big pet peeves, if someone tells you they're too busy, that they're not. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie. If somebody tells you they're too busy, no productive worker would ever have that, or person who is, I don't know the best way you want to describe it, but no good worker, productive worker. I mean, that will never be in their vocabulary. Too busy.
No. I mean, I've been in that spot.
Right.
I've been where I'm literally too busy or just too exhausted.
Well, yeah, that too. But to say you're too busy and just to say no,
right?
That's not helping. You can say, I currently do not have time due to my workload, but maybe suggest something like maybe someone else can look at it, or maybe
So I had points, especially because I'd become the only guy capable of doing certain things, and I would get bombarded by everybody else there.
Yeah.
I say everybody else, but there were literally only 4. Other than my boss and his wife, who was pretty useless, she was just never there. But there were only 4 other people working there other than me for the last week I was there. And I was hit so hard with just everybody coming at me with everything. And here I am picking up slack for all these other people. And I'm like, I don't have the resources right now to do anything.
It's not in the cards. Yeah.
Don't ask me because I feel horrible saying no. But if I don't say no to you, I'm lying to you. I cannot get to it. And, I did feel bad about that kind of stuff because here's other people that don't know how to do what I do, but and they were relying on me, but it was just an all around mess. And that the straw that broke the camel's back for me is I had a talk with my boss and I said, I need help.
Right.
You got to hire somebody now. That we need somebody hired immediately. So he hired himself an assistant.
Oh, nice.
And then went on vacation. And that
The
assistant
double whammy.
that assistant ended up being my boss and basically just got handed the company and here you go. And then as it turns out, the guy was a tremendous alcoholic.
Oh.
Like was drinking. I found this out. He only lasted a few weeks after I quit. He was using the company card to buy booze.
What?
Yeah. And the day he got let go, he showed up in an Uber begging for his job back. And then somebody else from the company had to give him a ride home because they're like, yeah, no, we're not hiring you back. You're done. And as they're driving him home, he's like, yeah, I need you to stop by the liquor store. And they already smelled the booze bad
Wow.
at 8 o'clock in the morning. And they had them stop by the liquor store and buy him booze.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, obviously that guy was worth losing me over. Crazy part is he was a former Major League Baseball pitcher.
Wow. Just that much. Had to have it. Like demanded it.
Yeah. And, but he was such when we interviewed him, I was in on the interview process.
Junior Meatloaf.
And he was such a nice guy, but I think we caught him sober. And then he had a tremendous amount of pressure put on him within our company because I don't think when he hired in, he knew what a fucking mess we were.
Right.
And what he was getting dropped on his shoulders. And he just totally fell apart.
So I remember.
But I would have thought a pro pitcher.
Yeah. Would have discipline.
Yeah.
Well, alcoholism's it's a beast, man. It's a beast.
Well, and I don't know that that's all he was into.
Right. I had one I worked with at Emerson. This guy came in and he was hired way high up. Like, I was an engineer and he was probably 2 or 3 levels above me and a manager. And he was running the one project for the failed thing, the auto hone that I worked on. He was he was head of automation. He was the automation manager or whatever, automation group manager. This guy, I liked him, but I could spot it right away. Like,
oh yeah,
he was a drinker. And so I was staying in Ann Arbor the one night, and we went out to dinner. Like, he took me to Black Rock or whatever. And I'm driving a company vehicle too. Of course, he had a rental or whatever because he had flown in. And we're sitting there, and he's just pounding back vodka drinks. And I'm out to dinner, and I knew he was paying and everything, and it was fine. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 beers, But he's just like, "Oh, you can have more," and I'm like, "No, I'm good." I had a 6-pack when I was headed back to I picked up a 6-pack. I was headed back to the hotel because I'm like, one thing I would not like and not a good look to be driving a company vehicle.
Yeah,
and either get into an accident or get pulled over for drinking. So, but anyway, apparently he had no problem with it. But so I played it cool because I can do that. I have, I love to drink. I love beer. I love drinking. But as I said, I have that control. And so then I was out to him. I went down and he took me out to lunch one day. He took me to this German place, really good food in Ann Arbor. And I had 1 beer because I had to drive back still and had, once again, vis-a-vis company vehicle. Plus it was fucking middle of the day. I saw him pound, I think it was 6 or 7 vodka drinks.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm sitting there going, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "Oh, have another beer." I'm like, "No, I'm good, man." Like, I had it was a draft, so it was like a 20-some ounce beer. Like,
and there's a different level and a different type of alcoholism that requires people to drink with you. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, "Oh, come on." Like, you're insecure about it, so you're like, "Hey, have another one. Have another one."
He would show up in the morning and just look a wreck. Pie-eyed, you could still smell booze on him, and he would get shakes. Like,
yeah.
So that's the one thing I've noticed. So like, I can go days. I don't have to have a drink. I do all the time. I take nights off, days off. I'll never feel the effects or get shakes or anything like that.
Right.
But I've seen a lot of people that do, and at one point I probably did. I'm not gonna lie.
I worked at it when I worked at the music store. there was a guitar teacher there that was a tremendous alcoholic that would come in, and he'd in between, like, in his guitar case, he actually kept a bottle.
Wow.
And in between kids coming in for stuff, and I remember one time walking by he had spilled some in the practice room, in the lesson room, and I remember walking by it and going, oh my God. And I said to my boss, I'm like, I think he's drinking in there. He's like, oh, I don't think. He's drinking pretty heavy. He had to get rid of him because he was pretty belligerent with a couple parents and
wow.
about a kid not practicing. And, wasting my fucking time. The dad's just like, well, it's not wasting your time because you're obviously in here pretty drunk.
Right.
So once that happened,
dude, you're the one that's wasted.
Yeah. Once that happened, it was like, well, it's not slowing your drinking down.
And that's the thing. And I know that for a while there, like I said, it wasn't good, and I'm not even proud of it. But even like, I'd have to go even at lunchtime and have drinks, or go out to lunch for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and have 6, 7, 8 beers, and go back to work. And it's like, I don't like that. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the stress. I bet you it's been 6 or 7 years since I've had drinks at lunch and then went back to work. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's not cool, man. It's not it. And it alleviates so much stress from life too, because you don't have shit to worry about, man.
Yeah.
Well,
at my last job, when it was better there,
yeah,
every Friday at like 2:00, we'd have, we'd have a drink.
But you're not trying to hide it.
No.
So
Everybody
the
would have a
the difference is you're hiding it. Whereas even now, like if we were to go out for a lunch function and the boss is having a beer and says, hey, have a beer, I'm cool with that.
I just want to point out to everybody in that window right above Phil there, there's a dancing junior.
So, but that's the thing. Like even then, like I didn't feel ashamed of that. Like when I worked for Boeing, and it was a 2 beer limit. If the boss took you out for lunch, have 2 beers. He's having 2 beers too.
Yeah,
that's fine. But it's when you go out and have way more than you should and try to hide it. That's where the stress comes in.
That was one of the great things when I had my company. We brought in some coworkers from Poland, and it's funny how the alcohol in different places affects you differently.
Right.
Because we brought them out, and the next day we had to be at the show at 8 a.m., and we were out until we were out until about 3 in the morning because DC doesn't really shut down their bars. And so we were out until about 3 in the morning, and the next day, we all show up at the show, all of us from the U.S., and our comrades from Poland. They
did
showed
not
up,
fare as well.
They showed up at about 11.
Oh, my.
And they're just like, oh, I've never been so hungover. But then when we went over there, I was less hungover than them, but it hit me so much harder.
Oh, yeah.
And it just ridiculous.
So one of the moments I'm not proud of either is when I worked for X-Tang years and years ago. I was 22 or 23 years old. And we had to go, they flew me to Vegas for SEMA. And I'm sitting there, it's the night before, I think the last day of the show. We were all supposed to get a picture taken in the morning or some shit. And I'm sitting there.
I'm listening to you, but.
And I went out with the boss's son. And he is the boss had money and, nepotism or whatever. This kid, we're at the High Rollers table at, I forget what the casino was. One of the old school casinos. High Rollers table, just pounding fucking vodka, right? And it's April in Vegas, so it's hot. And the air conditioning in my room sucked. And I got back, and that's probably one of the worst hangovers I ever remember in my life. Because we're at the High Roller table, they just keep bringing us booze. And I got back to my hotel room probably at like 4:30 in the morning. And just sleep through and just miserable. Sleep through the picture and everything else. And yeah, it was not a good time and not a good look for work, but yeah, that's all right.
Well, I think everybody runs into that at some point or another.
That was the only time I remember, one of only 2 times in my 20s that I had wished for death from drinking. And that only happened twice in my 20s, which is crazy because I'm only halfway through my 40s and it's probably happened 25 times in my 40s. You know?
So when I went to a friend of mine's bachelor party, we went up to Traverse City. And that is one of the only times that I remember just hoping that I lived through it.
Right. Well, I'm pretty confident all those times are probably alcohol poisoning.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was in the band, I often would not remember the night before that I would be that drunk. But
Right.
this, well, you're just going to screw up everything with the camera, aren't you? What the hell are you doing?
Move your chair over here.
Yeah. Jeez, oh Pete.
There you go.
But like we went up for this bachelor party and just got fucking hammered. And this is the time when I threw up in the magazine holder on the back of the bus taking us back to the hotel.
Ah, that guy.
And
My guy.
well, I made the mistake of picking a seat right on top of the heater. You know, those buses have a heater that like comes up out of the floor, and oh, it was so hot, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And I do remember sitting there going, I just want to make it home to Mary and the boys.
That's it. I just want to
I'm
make
sure that was first on your mind.
Junior,
It was,
Junior
actually.
joined us. So I can tell you another. So my pro tip for this episode, since I've given a pro tip so far on the Tuesday and Wednesday episode, if you are ever highly intoxicated on a bus, do not sit over top of the wheel well in the back.
No. Well, that's about where I was.
You're going to get bounced around like a fucking hot potato, and it's not going to feel good.
Yeah.
Speaking of throwing up, I would give a word of advice of not doing over 7 shots of Patron on your birthday. This is going out to a young lady that we all know whose birthday just passed last Wednesday.
Did that just happen on Wednesday?
Oh yeah, you guys didn't hear the after you guys
No, we
left.
didn't hear the post-mortem. I left and Adam and Mary were still here because we recorded. Hey, Fantasy Wizard. Check out Fantasy Wizard Sports Show.
Yes.
FantasyWizard.com. Check it out. But we recorded on Wednesday the first inaugural edition of the Fantasy Wizard Sports Show.
And it was an awesome show, guys.
And then thank you. Afterwards was someone's birthday, and she was so excited that I was here, and I'm like, I didn't have the heart to tell her I was here for the pot, but I stayed for the party. I stayed
Yes, you
for
guys
the
did.
party. But then Adam and Mary,
And we came back.
came back. Yeah.
Adam and Mary came back, and Silent S's birthday was out there. Let's give a shout out to her. She had a great time from what she remembered. And after you guys left, so you guys left roughly around 11:30, maybe midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
So I checked out at 1:30 a.m., okay? Clocked out at 1:30 a.m. And you know the buckets of beer that we sell? All
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Silent S just kind of kicked my ass, so, all right? Sorry, honey. Filled up about 3 buckets of regurgitation. She said at where you were sitting at, Adam, from 1:30 to 2:30, we got her out to the car. She took off her boots. I brought out the mop bucket about 4 times. Okay.
Oh my.
The favorite phrase is 2 years in a row is, Junior, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Big shout out to Silent S out there. 29. And then I had a couple friends of hers come over to her house, and we didn't get home till 5 in the morning because I had a Skype video with my kid, my youngest, and his counselor, and me and 2 others. Who one is an educator.
Okay.
Had to get up at 6:30, and a young man called in to work in Sandusky, who's an engineer, and
It wasn't me.
no, it wasn't you. First time in the whole couple of years that you didn't call in from being intoxicated.
Right.
Right. So yeah, Silent S tried to run away outside in the parking lot when she got free. The gentleman that was with us, I won't mention any names, had to try to strong arm her and capture her, and that's a hard task.
It's hard to corral, huh?
Yeah, Silent S. She's a tough cookie. But yeah, she had a wonderful birthday from what she remembered. I had to fill her in what happened after that. But
I didn't
Oh,
get a
boy.
piece of cake. I should have got a piece of cake.
yeah, we had cheesecake, and we had one of her mom's recipes. Someone perfected. It was marshmallows and nuts and like a pineapple cake.
Oh.
It was fucking amazing. Yeah.
You had me
cake.
a cheesecake.
Right. Cheesecake.
We didn't put that out on the table. That was a special present for Silent S. And she got into it. The young lady that made it for her, Silent S took her finger through out the whole thing to try it. And it was all looked like someone fucked it the
Oh,
next
my.
day.
Oh, well.
Finger
Who
fucked
did
it.
we have cheesecake for? Somebody's birthday.
Oh, it was Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was here, yeah.
Silent S made that for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, now I want cheesecake.
Fuck, me too.
All right. At the B&B, we got to have some cheesecake.
Well, she's going to perfect the meatloaf.
We're supposed to have a meatloaf eating challenge, huh?
We're going to do that.
You could put chili on cheesecake. It'd probably be pretty good. I'm just looking at the soup up there. Chili cheesecake.
Chili cheesecake.
Yeah.
I'm a regular cheesecake or New York style. What do you
Oh,
guys?
New York.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, New York style.
Fruit of choice.
On a cheesecake?
That's what New York style is, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Fruit
yeah.
of choice.
For me, it's either blueberry or strawberry.
Raspberry.
I'm going strawberry. I like strawberries.
I go raspberry.
We got to get
Strawberry
that.
second.
You got to get that. Well, I would do any fruit. But you got to have that puree in it too. You got to have the juices
yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of cherry, though.
I'm not a big cherry fan.
Overplayed, overrated.
Yeah, blueberry could be a close second.
Blueberry's good. I do enjoy blueberry.
I wasn't a big key lime fan, but that's what Queen E loved, and that's what we had, didn't we?
Yeah.
Key lime's good.
And it was really good.
Yeah. It's solid.
Yeah.
That's some good
But
shit.
yeah, I definitely like probably one of the best cheesecakes I've had when my mom had her store. She could get an all-natural pumpkin spice cheesecake.
Oh,
And it was fucking good.
yeah.
Really, really
A
good.
pumpkin cheesecake.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Ken.
So what's going on here tonight? It was bumping earlier.
Yeah, it was bumping a little bit. It's a Sunday. We lost
Yeah.
an hour of sleep.
Yeah, I'm feeling it right now. I mean, right now it's sitting here. We're at 10:49, and it
Which is kind of early.
yeah, but we're bumped. We bumped forward. We leapt forward, and yet it feels like it's about 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you guys do last night? Did you party it up, or did you have the kiddos?
Yeah, I had the kids.
Awesome.
I relaxed.
What'd you guys do?
So, yes, they came to me late yesterday because they had, Ben had a band festival thing, and my daughter had play practice. So they didn't get to me till about 7 o'clock last night. Had dinner, and then we relaxed, watched some shows. They both sacked out. I had a drink, and then I went down to the tavern and had a couple beers, but nothing crazy. And other than that, I was in bed. I think I was in bed by probably 12:30 at the latest.
What time did you wake up?
So I woke up at 7:15 new time, so it would have been, or 7:30 new time, so it would have been 6:30 old time.
Oh, I hate that.
That's such bullshit.
And I laid in bed for a little bit, and I got up about 8 o'clock. Kids were both awake, and threw some laundry in and decided it was time to make breakfast. And yeah, just stayed up since then. I took a little half-hour nap in there.
Okay.
You know, I don't think that the statute of limitations has passed on talking about this, but I feel that you should get leap day off.
I agree.
When they throw that extra day in the year, we should get that day off.
It should be a holiday. It's once every 4 years. I mean, what's it going to hurt productivity and everybody? Like, it should be a holiday.
Yeah, we get Washington's birthday off, and who remembers that guy for anything?
Fuck that guy, right? What did he ever do?
Yeah. But seriously, I mean,
Had wooden teeth and went across a river. That's about the only shit that motherfucker
Yeah.
did.
Fuck, that's overrated.
He didn't even
Right.
chop down a cherry tree.
No.
Look at him, all fucking young.
Yeah, I'm yawning because
Maybe
fucking time change.
Yeah, let's talk about something else then.
It's the time change, and then the time changes. We get a snowstorm. What the fuck?
I know, right?
Spring
What?
forward my ass.
My ass.
I was happier when Michigan was like Florida. I liked Florida, Michigan better than Michigan. Seriously.
I'm thinking about you yawn. I'm fucking tired, asshole.
Yeah. I can do it again.
No, don't do it again.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yay.
And then it's supposed to be like 54 tomorrow.
54 tomorrow. Then next weekend, high of 30s.
Yeah. And more rain, which will turn into fucking snow. And I hate snow.
I want to bad
wanna
mouth Mother
fuck
Nature,
snow?
but I don't want to fucking jinx
Let-
myself.
she's jinxing us for it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I say we all move to Tennessee.
I want to go to Tennessee so
No income tax.
You got Yingling.
Yeah, Yingling. The weather's better.
Yeah. A lot of the,
Sold.
Buddy of mine moved to Tennessee, and when we're sitting here in snow today, and he posted a picture on Facebook of him in a T-shirt working outside,
I don't like him.
and I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I don't know him, but I don't like him.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Asshole.
What's his name?
Bill.
Fuck you, Bill.
Fuck Bill.
Love you, Bill.
Sorry, Bill.
Does he listen?
Even
God
if he,
damn it, Bill. Fucking listen.
Even if he didn't, even if he did, he probably wouldn't comprehend it.
He's like, I'm Bill and I live in Tennessee.
Must be somebody else.
Nah, there's tons of Tennessee Bills.
Give me 1 second, boys. I want to see if everybody's
Just like
filled up on their
Buffalo
drinks.
Bills.
What was that?
I don't know. Something's going on.
He like jumped up and spun weird.
He's like,
I don't like it. I hope the camera caught that because I don't know what the hell happened. We might have seen Junior get possessed right there.
I think so. The camera will show the possession happening
Yeah, for sure.
as the demon enters his body.
So we're gonna do another episode of Fantasy Wizard this week. Should we make? I mean, we've talked about the studio a little bit, but we should make the announcement that we're going to be having a studio. We will be doing.
Yeah.
We'll be doing the internets from there.
Them internets.
You know, and maybe even multi-platform streaming. I've been checking into that simultaneous multi-platform streaming.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah, I think you can stream up to 4 people at a time. I mean, platforms at a time.
Oh, my.
Sounds like water sports.
Hopefully you can satisfy them.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me of something. Speaking of water sports. This motherfucker that keeps bothering us on Messenger. And you said him about contacting so-and-so. And then I'm like, I think he's on. And then you said, I think he's on vacation. I'm like, yeah, he's visiting R. Kelly. Yeah. And the dude's like, R. Kelly, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah,
And this was brilliant.
He might be interested in your services too. Here's his contact information. I took the time to look up where R. Kelly's currently in prison and found the contact information and sent it to this dude.
And well, and to expand on this, we I don't remember exactly how we got on the whole pissing on him or something.
Yeah, you mentioned about pissing on somebody.
Yeah. And I told him that this guy really wanted him to. We picked a random Facebook profile.
Right.
And told this guy to contact him and that he was really looking forward to him peeing on him.
Yes.
And we should take screenshots of that and post it on our Facebook page.
We really should.
Because the whole conversation was pretty great. But this guy keeps coming back. I keep trying to reach out to your friend, and I'm not getting him. Oh, he's on vacation. And then Phil comes in with the whole R. Kelly thing. And I was just rolling.
He's visiting R. Kelly.
Oh, boy. He'll be out in 3 to 5.
Yeah. It's the remix to Ignition.
So many people out there trying to just scam everybody.
Isn't it unbelievable?
And I mean, these people are they're doing, they're trying, they'll tell you that they're going to get you a bunch of likes and
Yeah.
people to like your Facebook page and all that. And so it just cracks me up at how persistent they are.
Oh, they are.
And just how stupid they are.
Just like the one cocksucker, like Facebook calling me during the middle of the day twice. And I'm like, dude, I'm at work. Stop.
Well, then one was calling in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. I was just like, what in the hell are you doing?
What'd I say? I had another classic comeback to one of them. They're fun to fuck with, though.
Oh, they really are.
Definitely fun to fuck with. You know, they're trying to scam you in some way or get your money. And
the one thing I can't figure out is what exactly they're doing. How they're.
Right.
My guess is that they've just spent days and days and days making fake profiles.
Oh yeah.
And they probably have some software that's been written to get that, you know, to like certain pages, certain things.
Yeah.
And because, you know, they'll always tell you, oh, I'll do 100 for you for free. And then you end up with 100 people that like you out of Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that.
Oh, I found it right here. So one of them just out of the blue, which they're not even, their name is English, but everything else is not on their profile. Said there's a copyright infringement notification, immediate action required. Dear, comma, and there's a blank mark where they should have inserted something. And it says, we have received a report of copyright infringement concerning your platform. And then it goes on and on. Failure to take action within the next 24 hours will result. Suspension of your page. It is imperative that you address the matter, blah, blah, blah. And I responded with this. Oh, shit. That's odd. We only play a loop of fart sounds. You can copyright those?
I saw that one. That was a good one.
You can copyright those?
There was one day that I thought it was you also messaging them, but it was Mary. And I'm like, holy shit, he's really going after them. But it was her going after him. It was hilarious. I was pretty impressed.
So it's fun to fuck with these scammers that are just trying to do shit.
Well, when I first added her so that she could put memes and stuff up there too and help me post some stuff, she was amazed at how many people were coming at us with that stuff, but then also amazed at our responses to them. She's like, you're pretty mean to some of them. I'm like, who cares? You know,
Right.
they're literally lower than sub life level.
And
you know,
I don't ever know what they want or what their goal is.
how do I listen to your podcast? I don't know. Click on one of the 3-5 links we put on every week to listen to it,
Right.
shit, or Google it. You know, it's like if you're asking me that is not what you want.
I am very interested in your podcast and possibly promote. And they, of course, it's always broken English. And possibly promote. How can I listen to your podcast?
I get good listeners for you.
Yeah.
Many thousands, good listeners, good likes, good reviews. You need?
Yeah. I love the responses. Nah, we already have too many fucking fans, man.
Yeah. Can
We're
you take
done.
some away?
Yeah,
We have
we've
too
said
many.
that before.
I would like to give some of our listeners to Needy Podcast.
to Podcast in Need, I think is what we said. We would like to donate some of our listeners to Podcast in Need.
Yes. And then you just don't get a response on because I think they're really confused.
They're like,
When they put that into Google Translate, I don't know how it comes out in South Korean, but
Or when you start asking them for money.
Yeah.
They fucking hate that.
please promote it for free and send us money.
Yeah. They love that. So, Junior, if you ever feel like you're getting scammed by somebody, start asking them for money. Be like, oh, shit, man.
Can you help the brother out?
Yeah. We can promote your promotion service on our podcast.
We will gladly promote your promotion service on our podcast. $125 an episode.
Well, and some of them are so weird. They're like, how are you today? What are you doing? How is your weather there?
Yeah.
Where are you at? It's like, well, wait, shouldn't that come before you ask me how my weather is there? Shouldn't you want to know where I'm at? It's all out of order.
So I get the same thing on Instagram. I just get bombarded with a, hey, how are you? Let's see how many of them I've got. I've got a ton of them. Like, or this one, hello, how are you doing? Are you there? And it's like someone with 8 followers, 0 posts. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And they always put up, of course, attractive women.
And then they say probably like who follows them is like Phil Nichols' mom.
Right. So this one just says hello and sends a picture of a very attractive woman. And I'm like, hi. And just says, am good. How are you doing? I'm like, I didn't even ask. I said, I'm okay. Okay, where are you from? And I said, Mexico. How about you? I'm from New Mexico. And I said, New Mexico. Same as the old one, only cleaner.
No response after that?
Nope.
Fucking crickets?
Yeah.
So I got one.
job.
I got one a long
Thanks, bud.
time ago. They were like, where they said they were from like Atlanta, and I'm like, oh, Atlanta, go Seahawks. Oh yes, go Seahawks, go Seahawks. And I'm
That's
just like,
beautiful.
you dipshit.
Right.
Same as the old one, only cleaner. Didn't get a response.
So
They have like a firewall, then Adam and Phil are going to be fucking, like sponsors of how to break fucking scammers,
Right?
So here's a message that we got recently. I am working for Apple and iTunes podcast, as well as Spotify and YouTube channel, podcast promotion. So I wrote, please promote us. We can't pay you, but we have things like eggs and corn we can barter with.
Fucking awesome.
Yep.
Eggs and
I,
corn.
I will charge only $100 for a month or $50 for a week. Are you interested in getting my services? Yes, please do it for free. We are poor and we don't have any legs. Sir,
That was
sir,
you?
Yeah. Sir, how about only $30? How much can you afford? I will get you 2K to 3K new episode downloads. And then I think Phil wrote, I can send you some beef jerky. You haven't heard back from this person.
I
No?
can send you some beef jerky.
That's about all I can afford.
This one, though, this
Don't give him that Wagyu jerky.
No. That's the good shit.
Yeah.
this one where you told him that it was R. Kelly.
Yeah. And I sent him the address for where R. Kelly's in prison as well as a phone number to contact him.
Did you really?
I did.
So Phil sends him a profile.
I can also, I'm R. Kelly, I could do wet work for you.
Yeah, right?
So I'm reading back
Don't use
through
my
this.
shit.
So fucking with these people is so much fun, though.
Oh, absolutely.
So the guy tells me that he will give us 10,000 organic downloads and 3,000 subscribers, only $40. You'll get much better results from me. I'm like, will you pay us $50 to do it and still pee on my friend? I'll send you an
even know
invoice for $50 and you send us 5 liters of urine. Okay,
5
sir.
liters?
I'm ready.
5 liters.
Yeah, I wanted to speak his language.
5 liters is a lot of piss.
He's like, okay, sir, I'm ready. I'm like, perfect. What is your email address and your mother's maiden name?
You said this?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Did you want a link to the Spotify for your bot to organic robot to upload organic robot profiles? Blink 2 for yes.
Blink 2 for yes.
What do you mean? I'll give you $50. No, you want to give to Mike Honcho.
My concho, yeah.
Ooh.
I don't understand. What are you saying? Please explain this to me, sir. Okay, to summarize, 1, you pee on Mike Honcho.
You pee on my concho. It says
Number 2, you give Mike Honcho $50. Number 3, you give us $50. 4, then you leave up your scanner. Then you leave up your scanner bullshit, roll it up real tight, and shove it up your ass. Scammer bullshit. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you more. Please let me know if your friend uses any social media.
He's still coming back, wondering.
I'm like, Grinder, please, sir. Well, I think did you put the profile up there?
No.
Okay, that was Mary then.
Yeah, Grinder.
So-
He uses Grinder.
So
God bless me.
so Grinder, just search for him. I knocked your friend, ask him to talk to me. Cool. Just tell him you will pee on him, and he will laugh it up.
Oh my God, that's fucking
So then
awesome.
there's a fake profile that he was sent for for James Grinder.
James Grinder. He's on Grinder.
Is this your friend? Yes. Good guy with a lot of money.
Oh yes.
Is your friend promoting? Yes. Tell him you'll pee on him and to promote his Spotify. Then he will know we sent you. Thank you so much, sir. And you are very welcome. Have a great day. Do you promote your Spotify to anyone? No, we do not need promotion services. Our podcast is already too popular. We are looking to reduce listeners and hope it reduces our carbon footprint. You can rely on help from me anytime you need me. He's like, okay, then great on the whole reducing our carbon footprint. Just hook up James. He needs the help. And it just kind of goes on from there. I
can't believe how long they would go with
I know.
this shit, dude.
Dude, they're doing it for pennies. I mean, you're talking 40. I'm taking up hours of this guy's time,
Right.
with total bullshit,
Right.
And he's going to do this all for $40
And
5 liters of urine.
Yeah. 5 liters of urine. It's probably worth a lot.
Well, that's what I'm guessing is where the fuck is he from that $40 is worth a lot?
And that much time.
Guatemala.
Probably.
It's like when you go, I mean, you guys ever been to like Cancun?
No.
No? Adam?
No, I've been to other parts of Mexico.
Like
but not
when
Cancun.
people, the luggage boys, they will fucking take your luggage and you give them like $1 American money. They're fucking on your ass the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Because that's a lot to them.
That's a lot of money.
Well, when I was in Mexico,
We'll be right back.
there was a guy that came up and he's like, he offered to take our, he had a Polaroid camera,
Right.
and he offered to take our picture. And we're like, how much? And he's like, $1. And
Yeah.
this would have been about 1989. And he's like $1. Open up the wallet. We didn't have $1. We gave him a $5. You would have thought we gave him
$100,000.
Oh my God, he was just he was.
That's what I was trying to explain. This is 10 years ago when I went to Cancun, and they just are, like I said, your best friends for the whole weekend after you just give them $1.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Maximo, he says, yeah, people would just love you in Cuba,
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how different that is other places.
Right.
I mean, here if you tip somebody $1
You
or
know,
do it,
you're getting motherfucked.
yeah, you're an asshole.
And
There it
5 liters of urine in their drink.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, these guys are trying to do stuff for, and I'm sure it doesn't take them long
Right.
to do it. But to me, it seems like such a hassle for like $30-$40 to process, like to even, hate to say it, even to enter all this shit into PayPal to invoice you.
Sure.
Or whatever weird scam service they're using to invoice you.
Right.
It just seems like that would take way too long.
Time consuming.
Yeah. So why would you fucking bother?
Right.
Unless it's worth a lot of money there. I'm on my own. Go ahead.
Have you ever talked to yourself by yourself like on a podcast?
Yeah. I'm on a podcast with Phil. I talk to myself all the time. It'll just be like when Phil was in that last relationship and he'd be on his phone all the time during the podcast.
Sure. And he usually is back right now. Like,
Yeah.
This is too funny.
He must be handling
Here he
it.
comes.
Yeah, he's on
He's
his
got a
way.
bladder like an infant.
Yeah, that is true. I can go like 3 episodes without having to get up and go to the bathroom. Phil takes 4 breaks.
Right. Magician. He pisses out of his thumb.
What?
I'll be right back. We love you. We were just talking about what a fucking great man you are. And,
That is not what we were saying.
All right. 1 second, guys.
Oh, my.
So yeah, we were just discussing how wherever these guys are at, $30-$40 must be a lot of money.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure none of this takes them long, but they go to great effort. And it's entertainment for me to sit there and harass them.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And, because they're not really human, so it doesn't really matter what you say to them.
Right.
And they ignore, like, anything weird, like, yeah, my buddy wants you to pee on him. Okay, great. They just ignore that.
They're
Not a
like,
big deal.
oh, yeah. Sure.
Another one that likes to get peed on? Okay. We'll do it.
Whatever you want, sir.
Yeah, whatever. Just send $30 via this weird, wonky set up.
Could you imagine though, like, and they promise you like whatever, like a number, like say 1,000 new followers. Like how much time they spend doing that? Like,
They have to have software that does it.
I would think so.
And, you know, whether it's proprietary or they've bought it or whatever, or downloaded it, hacked it, I'm sure that it's all software driven.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all bot driven, and it's all total bullshit.
It's beautiful fucking with them though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing, they always want such like small amounts of money, which like, when we talk about things like anything that seems too good to be true is too good to be true.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and like I say, you end up with a whole shitload of. Well, I mean, we've had them offer it for free, and we're just like, yeah, go ahead. Then you end up with a bunch of downloads out of some. You know, you'll end up with 300 downloads out of God knows where.
Right.
You know.
So what? I wonder what they get from this. Like, this is obviously, it's a hot market. Like, a lot of people are podcasting out there. I understand that. Is that why? Is because a lot of people and they're trying to be successful and make it as podcasters?
I think that people want the validation of there's actually somebody listening, and they're so desperate for that they'll pay for it.
Huh. That makes sense.
You know, I mean, just like anything else, they want instant gratification on it.
Junior Meatloaf.
You know, we talked about DJing one time. You give somebody under 25 a microphone.
Oh yeah.
They'll hang on to that fucking thing all night.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's
And
true. They will.
They'll talk through songs. What cracks me up, and we saw this on a recent DJ gig. They'll be talking to somebody, and they will talk into the microphone to talk to them. It just baffles me. It just baffles me.
Right,
and we've
no.
seen it on the podcast where someone will come up behind somebody to talk to them, and people grab the mic like this and turn and talk to them into the microphone so that they can hear themselves. But
Right.
that person can't hear them because
Right.
they're not close to them. You know what I mean? It just cracks me up.
Nah, it's true, man. It's true. Oh, we should promote.
Which thing? Oh, yes.
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day,
Yes.
4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come out to the Parisville Saloon. Come see us. We'll be DJing.
It's going to be great food on St. Patrick's Day.
And it's Sunday. It's a Sunday.
There's no football. There's no March Madness yet. You really have no reason not to come out and partake in that.
Come have fun with us. Come party.
And I'm going to promote that pretty heavy on our feed this week.
Yeah, nice.
You know, and keep people in the know and in the reminder.
Let's help everybody out. Let's have a good time. Jose's kind enough to hire us and be a gracious host, and come get his corned beef and cabbage meal.
Well, you know
You
it's
will
gonna
not be
good.
disappointed. It's going.
You know it's going to be good.
I've had it before. His is so good.
Dude, I get so excited when I see his food truck at Walmart in Sandusky.
I know. Next time it's there, I have to go. Like I've missed it the last 2 times.
I didn't know it was there the one day, and I drove into the parking lot, and he was packing up, and I was so disappointed. But Mary picked up some the first time he was up there this spring, and so good, so good, just ridiculous.
I concur. So yeah, we'll be at Parisville on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, Sunday. DJing 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Spin some tunes, drink some booze, eat some corned beef and cabbage.
And Saturday night, I believe we're going to see Jailbird Johnny.
We are. We're going down to the Rustic. So
Yeah.
I'll promote that too. Go to the Rustic. See Jailbird Johnny. You will not be disappointed.
No, they put on a good show, and they're good guys.
There, and that's how we're going to spend our St. Patrick's Day weekend. Besides, for me, drunk.
Yes, and pissing blue or whatever
Oh God, damn it!
on Monday.
Yeah, avoid the green beer. Have one, and be festive. Do not drink multiples. Do not drink 30 green beers.
No, your kidneys will never be the same.
It's tough. All that dye.
Your liver will hate you too. You'll hate yourself. Don't do it.
So drink 25, but not 30.
Oh, there is still wrestling on. Oh, yeah, the Big 12 championships. They're in earlier time zones. So,
Big 12.
but
You're
they're
about
not-
to
they're
join
not
the
great.
Big 12.
I don't even know if the Big 12 is a thing next year.
I don't know. I wish I had 12.
What are we, the big 25 or 30 now?
Yeah, they're going to have to change it to just the big.
The
Is there
big.
There's no more Pac-12?
Yeah, Pac-12 is pretty much wrapped up after
I think
this
Colorado or Colorado State's the only fucking team in there.
And Washington State.
year. They're going to win a lot of championships, though.
So you get the Big Two? Yeah.
Big 2. The Pac 2.
You don't want to come in second place.
No.
The old
Fucking losers.
the old Pac 2.
Yeah, the whole face of all of that is changing rapidly.
I got to go through when the Big Ten, what we're calling it right now, but like at the end of the year, I mean, there's close to 20 teams, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
And there's probably going to be roughly, 4 or 5 undefeated teams possibly throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And how do they go? Who wins the Big Ten? And they're getting away with there's no more Big Ten championship, correct?
I don't think so. Not in football, no.
It's only one division.
Yeah,
There's not 2 divisions.
I don't think so, no.
Right. I don't understand who would be considered representing the Big Ten championship and what the tiebreaker would be.
I
You
don't know.
you understand what I'm
It's-
saying?
Yeah, it's gonna. I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna play roll of dice. Last
shoot
team
craps?
standing, roll of dice.
So this year,
What's the
So-
average pecker size?
yeah, no, this year they're expanding to 12 teams in the college football playoff, right? Is
Yes.
it the year?
That is correct.
Dang.
You know, in wrestling, they do allocations by conference. So the NCAA tournament, you know, it's a 32-man bracket.
Sure.
Each conference gets so many people that enter into that, and depending on how you place in your conference is how you get in there. And I kind of am curious, are they going to do the same thing with the 12-man bracket for football? You know, is the Big Ten going to get like 4 and the SEC get 4, you know, something like that? And
Yeah.
there's 4 at-large bids.
In my opinion, I think there should be more than 12 teams. I mean, I think there's going to be, they had discrepancies for the last 20 years, and I think there's going to be discrepancies with 12 teams.
I think they should go to 16, and I think they eventually will, because I don't think that extra week of off time is necessarily phenomenal.
Right.
You know, and then the other thing that I think that once you get past 16, it's kind of pointless to have more teams than that, because you can debate it. If there was 2 teams that are like right there for 16, who gives a shit? Just throw one in and let them lose to Alabama or Michigan or, you know, whoever.
Sure.
They're just
So-
going to get their ass kicked
So you don't think
anyways.
12 is enough?
I don't.
Well,
And are they going to be at?
so here's the thing. If you put in any given year, you put the number, say, 13, 14, or 15 team in the country up against number 1 or number 2, number 1 or number 2 is going to beat their ass, which is why I think 12 is plenty.
Yeah, I think 12 is enough to determine your champion. You're never going to see anybody out of the top 8, I don't think, that ever win it.
Well,
I agree.
the only reason why I don't like 12 is that I just want those little schools that complain. Well, they don't. I don't understand that they don't play the competition, the right competition, like a Michigan or Alabama does. You know what I'm saying? Like the James Madison of the past couple years, that have been undefeated in their division, but they don't play. They play fucking UMass, UConn.
Right. The Emily Shorter School for the
Sure.
unwed mothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to get into the top 25. That's where I think they should go. Like 25 teams, 24 teams.
But see, then you're talking such a long tournament. This isn't like the NCAA where you can, or NCAA basketball where you can run, a couple of games a week. You're running 1 game a week. Then you're out to a 5-week playoff,
That's true too.
and that's too long.
And since you say that, where are those games played? Like for the 2 teams that are playing each other, is it at the the higher seed.
It's going to be at the higher seed.
So if Michigan's number 1, they're playing Michigan State, who's number 2, would be at U of M.
Right.
Okay.
And until you get to the Final Four, I believe, and then it will be neutral field. But that's my only problem with, we're still talking about college kids, and you see all the injuries in the NBA and the shortened careers and stuff because of the long season. You don't want to do that earlier in
injuries.
their career. Yeah, you're going to have more and more people that opt out. If you're a star player on a number 14,
I understand
on the 12th,
that's
right.
It's too much on them, and you're going to see more. Look at all the people that opt out of the bowl games because they don't mean anything now. You're going to have even more of that if you expand that playoff. And
but another point is that these players are getting paid.
Some are. Understand the NIL sometimes. I mean, a big player is going to get a big NIL deal, but somebody who is a second round, third round draft pick is not getting a big NIL deal in college. So,
Yep, I hear you.
Your Marvin Harrison's getting a big NIL deal. Outside of that, they're not getting big NIL deals. They might get a little bit. But
Okay, I get
it's
you.
still the money that they're going to be making compared to what they would make in the.
That big motherfucker.
Yeah, he's pretty good size.
No gay though, but he's huge.
But the money that they're making on the NIL compared to what they'll make going pro, and if they're going to be a draft pick, they're just going to opt out. They're not. They're going to be like, I'm not taking part in this, and that is the one negative I see with the playoff. Now, from a fan standpoint, I love it.
Right.
I love it because I don't see a whole lot of time in the near future that my favorite teams won't be in the top 12.
Right.
But then there's the aspect of what do you do with everything after that? There's so much money that is made by the colleges and stuff on the bowl games. They'll never get rid of that. But now you're going to have bowl games that don't mean shit. And
Well, half the bowl games don't mean fucking shit right now either. Remember when we were just getting out of high school and they had, 9 bowl games?
Yeah.
Cotton Bowl, fucking Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl.
Yeah, they had literally, if you were not in the top 25, you probably didn't go to a bowl.
Right. You're making a fucking bowl game being 5 and 7.
Yeah.
And being in the Billy Goat Bowl.
well,
Shout
the
out to Mike.
NCAA put in the rule that you had to have 6 wins to be bowl eligible.
Yep.
But who wants to watch 2 6-6 teams play?
And anymore, that's what you get when you got 42 goddamn bowl games. 42.
Yeah.
That's the number of bowl games. 42. That means 84 teams are involved.
Yep.
So you're taking,
And there's 110 colleges.
I think it's
And-
150 some, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, Division 1. Yeah.
But still, so that means, as you said, you correctly pointed out, you have the MAC number 4 football team. They went 7-5. Eastern Michigan University went 7-5, versus the ACC number 6 team that went 6-6.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck wants versus Syracuse? Who the fuck wants to watch that?
Gamblers.
Yes.
Can you imagine having to call that game, like being the guys in the booth that are like, well, here's a bunch of players we don't know on teams we don't care about. Let's go,
Right.
and try to be excited about it.
Just a better time to get drunk.
Yeah, well, those guys are
That's what those guys are doing.
Right. Have an edible.
exactly
Ride it
God,
out.
I can't wait for the days when I can call football games and just get drunk.
That'd be sweet.
I still think that there is a market for doing small college sports in the area.
There definitely is. There definitely is, and we could do that. We could definitely fill that hole.
Yes, we should do a lot of college volleyball.
Please count me in. I'm getting
Volleyball
hard thinking
players
about
are
just-
my favorite.
Yeah, they have great uniforms. Let's all close our eyes for a second. I couldn't have said it better.
You did. Say it. So we should probably get out of this one.
Yeah, we're an hour and 20 in.
Hour and 25.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Wow.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah.
We appreciate you neglecting your customers and coming over here with us.
Not a problem. I already gave them last call.
Nice.
Yeah, they're good.
All right. Good deal.
I appreciate you guys. God bless. Love you guys.
We appreciate you.
Awesome. Great job by the Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy Wizard, the Fantasy Wizard show, sports show, sorry, Fantasy Wizard sports show, fantasywizard.com.
The Fantasy Wizard.
The Fantasy Wizard, thefantasywizard.com, the fantasywizard.com.
Yes.
Love the background music. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
We're going to record more.
I know. I'm saying that inaugural
Yeah,
first
thank
one.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. I was home alone, just naked, and listened to it. And it was awesome. I got to tell you, I got hard as
Naked and satisfied.
I was.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of naked and afraid, I feel like.
I'm gonna be his number one fan now because I want to get a championship. Listening to his own words of wisdom.
If you beat him with his own knowledge,
Did you think about that?
That'd be
Did
the
you
best.
even think about that?
Yeah, I have.
I shouldn't have said nothing, but
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is the
love it.
only thing that I want to fucking do. Hey, I listened to your show. Fuck off. Give me the hardware. Bring the belt to my fucking crib.
That's why I kind of hate it, because I'm actually like showing people how the sausage is made with my own thoughts and how I play fantasy
Right.
football, because I'm actually on, I think it's 5 straight years where I've won a championship. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh raggy.
We love you, GHC, but you're going down, sucker. How pissed is he going to be?
Hello, this is Jesus speaking.
Right?
Likewise.
Yeah,
Tune in
he's
next
gonna be
time
pissed.
when we give Jesus a call. We should probably check on him again.
We should. It's been a while.
Yeah, one quick question. I didn't know. Did you get any update on BTK?
I have not.
Oh, those motherfuckers. He doesn't want $6 and a
Well-
pack of Winston's?
Yeah, I don't know what $6 will get you in the commissary there anymore.
I know.
I wonder if his health is good. I mean, he's getting up there in years.
Right, and you made a valid point, too. Like, he's probably did so many fucking interviews that why would we call Port Sanilac?
Well, I just think that who knows? He might even have a manager that handles that shit.
Yeah, he probably already died. Maybe we tell him that my kid's transgender and dresses up in women's clothes and likes to jack off at funerals.
Likes to jack off at funerals.
No,
Who doesn't?
I'm just saying that's what he loved.
That's what he
And I'm
loves.
I'm throwing my firstborn under the bus.
I mean,
If he gets to talk to the BTK killer under the false pretenses that he likes to jack off at funerals, that's beautiful, man.
Well, I can tell you, he's a sick fuck.
That's poetic.
he is 79 years old.
Yeah, I thought we talked about. Yeah, he is.
So I mean, there's part of me that just wonders: is he still available for such stuff, or is it reserved now for like just large things? Because I sent him an email, I filled out the form that they sent me, and I've heard nothing back.
Right.
Maybe they lobotomized him already. Or it could be maybe he only has access to a computer like once every couple of weeks or something. So he's
Well,
checking his email. And
It's the actual prison that you have to like.
Get through.
Yeah, you have to apply with them. So when I reached out, like I say, I sent them an email. They sent me a link to a page that I had to go and fill out a media request, and I've heard nothing back since. So I don't know how long that process takes. It may have to go through a formal process of being approved by a judge, or I mean, who knows? But if they've listened to our podcast, they are not going to approve that.
Right. So here's what we go with next.
I was going to say, can we try one more time? And that would be it.
We can keep trying. Here's what I propose. We find out somebody who's in prison there with him and put a media request to them that's not popular.
What can you tell us about the BTK killer? How pissed would that guy be, though, when he's like, you didn't want to talk to me?
No, Henry, we'll talk to you. What are you in for? And he'd be like, political espionage. Not interested.
I'm a dog fucker.
All right, you won us
You're
back.
in.
Yeah.
You're in. Public dog fucking. All right. Well,
Well, that's a great idea.
Right?
I don't know how we can get a list of inmates at that prison, but
Oh, well, I can find out.
That's public records.
Yeah.
You knew what prison he was in. You can go.
well, yeah, but I knew I could look up him, and then I looked up his name, and then I found the prison. and-
Sure.
No, just look
But
at the
you-
prison. They'll give you an inmate roster.
Yeah. Public records. You can find out who's in fucking our prison.
Maybe we should do this as a regular segment. Have our inmate of the week.
Oh,
And just call somebody from prisons random.
There we go.
could that be a new?
That's
That
a new
could
segment.
Definitely be a new segment. Our inmate of the week.
And if you have an inmate that you want to have highlighted, send us their info. We will highlight them, and we will look up about their crime, and we'll talk about them on the podcast.
We'll even send their parents a bumper sticker that just says, "My child was inmate of the week."
Yes,
Yeah, we should have an inmate of the week.
I like it.
Oh fuck, you're brilliant.
I'm down.
You brilliant bastard.
Once in a while.
No. That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Can we do that?
We can. It'd be a lot of fun.
Should we start in our county?
We can start anywhere, man. Any jail, any prison, wherever people are being oppressed, man. Absolutely.
And I'm sure that you or Mr. Adam could look at our inmates, and you're 9 times out you're going to know somebody.
Yeah,
Right?
probably gonna know
Right?
somebody. Yeah, between the two of us. Yeah.
We should have had it when well, he doesn't listen. Cowboy was in there. Called him.
God no, but yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So inmate of the week. Yeah.
The gerbils are running right now. We got a lot of ideas. What kind of? Oh my God, that'd be awesome. So you're really into bestiality,
Yeah. Right. It says here, man.
men and women too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says here your famous quote is, "Did you know that when pigeons fuck, they die?" And you're like, "No, man, that's not a fact." Well, the one I did died.
Right.
The one I fucked died. Ah.
So on the Sanilac County Jail.org
Dossier.
website, they have a click here to search for incarcerated friends or family.
Absolutely, I know that.
That's great.
But I do not see a roster.
I can get you one. So inmate
Well,
of the week.
I'll make a phone call tomorrow because there's a young man and young woman that lives on Silent Essex Street who are cops
Yeah.
in the law enforcement, and see where we have to click on because we can see mugshots. I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they have a pedophile fucking. I mean, that's. Let me stop right there. That's one thing I don't want to get into because I'll be fucking pissed talking to a pedophile. Unless they pissed 7 feet in front of a school. Then we won't. We'll talk.
Right. No, inmate of the week. I love it.
I mean, I do have the Sanilac County Jail Tracker. And, but I can't find roster, like a list of who they are. I can search for people that may be in there. But, like, if I search for,
Smith.
well, yeah.
Well, see,
Smithers.
my children's mom's a teacher, and we were just doing this a couple months ago when I was over there watching a bowling tournament, and they had the report where they thought that abuse was happening in their class, and she looked up their last name, and when she looked it up, then a list of names came in. This was in Macomb,
Right.
at the prison, and a whole shit ton of names and mugshots came up.
Oh, yeah.
They had a little, where to click on for a roster. Like, what it's the Macomb County Prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
On North Avenue. Try that, Adam.
Well, I may have found something here. Hang on just a second.
Release the hounds.
1 second, I gotta go fill up a wine glass.
All right.
This is awesome.
Release the hounds. Yeah, inmate of the week. If you have an inmate you'd like to have a spotlight and talk to, then give us a text or email, and we'll figure it out. We'll learn how to get a hold of them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
It'd
going to be
the
great.
highlight. It'd be the highlight of their jail career.
It's going to be great. I mean, we could call that number for R. Kelly's prison and see if he's available right now.
That would be awesome too. So yeah, I'm looking on here. A roster, an actual like listing of who's in there, is going to be tough to get. But if we have a name, if people submit us a name of somebody, we'll look up all about them. I can do some Googling on that, and we'll look up all about what they're in there for.
Sounds great.
So, all right, we should definitely get out of this one. We're
an hour and 35 into it now.
Yes, we are. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
All right. Junior sat down with us for a little bit. Be prepared for Inmate of the Week as we move forward here on the P&A Podcast Express. An episode about nonsense and nonsensical.
That doesn't sound like us at all.
He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Knuckle. Phil who?
What? Knuckle?
Knuckle. Phil Knuckle. I'm Phil Nickel. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you're still with me, here's a bonus for you. My PIN number is 0000.
Yes.
So,
Can confirm.
There you go. From all of us here at the P&A Podcast Express, Podcast Express. Wow, podcack. Thanks for listening, and as always, make good choices.